Evening, everybody. Mickey here. Got nobody with me yet. So, what can I say? Welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So, as a channel, we set up pretty much 2 years ago, almost to the month, and we've been trundling along, having a bit of fun. We do a few lives and bits and pieces, and our whole goal is to encourage people and welcome people into the outdoors world. It's to encourage people to go outside and enjoy themselves. So I'm not an expert. I'm somebody that has practiced outdoor skills most of my life. Came from growing up. I know there's 2 lives. I've just left Dan's elusive. Yeah. So, I've just left Dan's and come up with this one. Unfortunately, I'd scheduled this one. Evening, Ken. How you doing, mate? Hope all's good with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're rolling up 5 of us now. All right. So hopefully, I've not ended up cutting Bosun Dan short on his live. He dived on. I'd already scheduled mine, so it was one of those I had to sort of come in and do it. Or people would be going, well, where's Mickey? If I'd known Bosun was on tonight, I would have probably taken my schedule down and rescheduled it. But there we go. Hi, Living Lavu. You were lurking in the other live links. Yeah, that's Sunday night's live. So, I've got 2 lives scheduled. I've got one for Sunday night, one for tonight. And tonight's, because I didn't do a main video, excuse me, coughing, this week, what I decided to do was a quick live tonight, a Q&A sort of based thing, just a quick nap with you guys. So I've got something up this week. So you all know that Mickey's still alive and kicking. Let me just adjust that camera because it is driving me up the wall. Perspective is a bit of a nightmare. So there we go. So you got a bit more of a look around the man cave tonight. So, and as you see, there's a couple of channels. There's a couple of channels up on the board there. Bosun Dan, dive over. Brilliant. He was out with sticks this week. Introduced me to the guy. Had a real laugh. Living Lavu, been over, had a look at his stuff. Brilliant channel. Absolutely loved it. TJ, fire me the name of your channel so you can go up on the board, mate, because TJ's got that one. TJ's got his first video up tonight. So, we'll get that up there. And basically, the idea is, help other guys, build guys up, help other channels, and just it's about enjoying, isn't it? So again, tonight really is anything you want to ask, anything you want to know. If there's any bits of kit you want me to get down, show you, tell you what I think. Is there any information you want? Do you think the world's coming to an end? Yeah, just far away. I've got no Kaz with me tonight. Kaz is on a mission of her own. So please bear with me a little bit because I'm having to read the notifications and obviously communicate at the same time. So, Elusive Dartmoor, hi. Kitten Killer, hi. TJ, hi. And anybody else that's out there. There's 10 of you out there. Come on, guys. Ask me a question. Fire up a subject. Let me know, what do you think? What do you want? What do you want from me? God, 2 years in. What do you want from me next year? Okie doke, TJ. So is your channel TJ Pockets? Yeah. So what I can do, I can get your name up on the board, which will get you going. Elusive's doing a night walk tomorrow, 2 a.m. using app to tell me how many miles to put on the vid. Excellent. Right, okie doke, TJ. I'm just going to sing up. Now tonight, hopefully you'll be able to hear me because I might be moving backwards and forwards out of the way. So you get to see a bit of that. The portly Mick. So let's stick that channel up there then. There we go. Hopefully you can all see that. TJ Pockets, dive over. He's got his very, very first video up today. Yeah, show him some love. And again, bear in mind it's his first video. I've not seen it yet. So any advice you can give the guy, any encouragement, we do so. And we try and do that with one another. We try and look after one another, help one another along, pick one another up when they're a bit down. Gentle push on one another's back, not too close to the cliff edge. You understand? And have a bit of fun. It's at TJ Pockets. Right. Okey doke. That looks like an E, but it's an at sign. So there we go. So what have you all been doing this week? Let's have a look back through this. Anybody asked the question yet? Oh, he's wearing trousers. Yes, I am wearing trousers. I'm wearing combats today. Yes. It has been known that occasionally Mickey does wear trousers. All right. Chronically outdoors. Sorry for falling asleep last time. Not a problem, mate. All right. That was the other one, wasn't it? There we go. That's another one up on the board. So, yeah, there we go. Daz Outdoors evening, Daz. Happy Friday, mate. Hope you're good. Oh, hang on. Dyslexia rings. It's Little Bell. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, happy Friday to everybody. It's the weekend, yes. Well, I don't know about the rest of you in the world, but we had a thunderstorm here locally this morning. Struck in Aldershot and damaged 2 blocks of flats, several houses, blew some trees over, created absolute pandemonium. And I'm pretty sure that's the same bang that at the same time, Sticks was chatting to me. We were doing a WhatsApp conversation. And all of a sudden, the window lit up, and there was all hell of a bang. Actually, mate, I was like that for a second. It triggered me. But yeah, that was a hell of a bang. Owen, lives. Yeah, love that. Getting tempting me now. I'm thinking scooter. I'm thinking armoured scooter. I'm thinking get myself a scooter, take all that plastic off, bit of titanium, bit of armour plating, my apocalypse scooter. Yeah, thunderstorms tomorrow. So yeah, well, whilst we're here, a quick shout out to Mac and Rob. They're doing a 48 miler as we speak. So they're probably the best part of 12, 13 hours into their tab. And the weather's not been good today, and they're actually following a river valley. So guys, stay safe, be good. Yeah, I know you can do it. Oh, yeah, absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I'm watching a chat there, and I'm thinking to myself, right, yeah, that Ketten, you're right there. As an apocalypse vehicle, as that end of days vehicle, which we were saying the other day, do you need speed? Not really. If everybody else is on foot, what you want to be able to do is maintain a steady. I mean, let's face it, 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour max, and be able to just keep going and going and going without worrying about that fuel reserve. Be able to load it up, carry stuff on it, possibly carry another woman. I've got to carry another woman. What do you say? Freudian slip. Carry kit with you and your woman. Yeah. So there you go. It's yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes over the winter. See what I can find. Dan, hello, mate. VW Caddy, yeah, mate. You're singing to my song sheet there. My father was a VW mechanic in the 70s and 80s. So I remember, like, when the very first caddies came in. I mean, first caddy I looked at, I was like, "It's a pickup. It's so American." And the old man almost sort of cracked me around the ear roll and went, "No, it's not American. It'll start first time every time." And I love them. I love older VWs. Not so much a fan of Beetles and campers because I spent most of my childhood kneeling behind the things passing tools to a grumpy father. Um, but the later ones, the Mark One Golfs and that, oh yeah, love them. Siroccos. I had a load of Siroccos over the years. Passats. Loved the Passat. Thought that was an absolutely awesome car. In actual fact, probably one of my favourites was the Passat 2.2 5-cylinder estate. Mate, oh, what a car. What a car. Loved it. And then later on had TDIs and all the rest of it. I've had 1.9 TDI engine, by the water pump. Sweet as a nut. Loved it. And again, cheapest chips to run. Cheapest chips to run. Mate, don't. I'll probably be dribbling over it in a manly type of way. You understand, a purely manly type of way. We're looking at it going, yeah, so do this and do that. Now, Dan, I liked exactly what you were saying. You were talking on your live just a little while ago, and I agree with you 100%, mate. I've been an instructor within the military and outside the military for most of my adult life. And one of my pet peeves is, one, as soon as somebody says they're an expert, I switch off. Yeah. Two, it's those people, and I hate it within the world where people go, the way to do it is my way. I learned very early on, everybody's different. People have different dexterity, physicality, ability, even down to vision, hearing. There's so many different types of limitations can come in. And the other thing is, people are very quick in the bushcraft world to say, this is the set system. However, a fire lighting system that works here in the UK might not work as efficiently in a desert. A system in a desert might work in the Arctic, and so on and so on and so on. So again, I'm very much one of those that's like, just find the methods that work for you in your location, where you are, something that's efficient, and more importantly, something you enjoy, something you can practice, master, enjoy. And when you've mastered that one, move on to something else. I'm always getting people saying, oh, ferro rods, oh, you go to the ferro rod. Ferro rod's cheating. You've got to be able to do it like this. Well, yeah, ferro rod is cheating, but I'm a survival instructor. I trained people to go into dangerous environments, including a certain person you mentioned on your channel, and to survive. And part of that survival technique was to have kits. So with my channel, I tend to try and steer people towards building gear, building kit, go equipped, have a first aid kit in your car, have your, I don't know, you want to call it a bug out bag. I call it a possibles bag. Other people call it a spares bag, odds and sods bag. Those bits you might need if you wanted to. So I tend to try and sort of encourage, I don't teach, I encourage people to think that way. And in the preparedness side of things, it's exactly the same. It's at home. It's that old thing. I get fascinated by this modern thing that, oh yeah, I'm a prepper. Well, my mum was a prepper. My granddad was a prepper. My great auntie was a prepper. They all lived in the West Country, on farms in the middle of Cornwall. And in the winter, in the old days, you couldn't always get into town. And sometimes electricity went off, and sometimes for weeks. So people had, the larder. The larder was filled with tin goods. That got stocked up for the winter about this time of the year. People put candles by, things like that. But all of a sudden, this whole prepper thing, it's become brand new. Oh, I'm a prepper. No, this is something our ancestors have done for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's a natural order. It's only in the last 20 or 30 years that the big supermarkets and the chains have tried to encourage us to just, no, you only need what you need for today because we'll be open tomorrow. So, yeah, you're right in what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. In fact, I look forward to doing a camp with you sometime, mate, because Sticks has already lit me in on the lowdown. Yeah, I know all about the bits that don't get mentioned. Yeah, so, but yeah, you're another like-minded soul, and there are so many different skills. I watched your archery video, thoroughly enjoyed that, and I've had a bash at archery as an amateur in the past, where working on ranges and being a shooter myself, FAC and that sort of thing, and done deer management, vermin control and that. And being on ranges, you quite often used to get the cadets turn up, and there'd be somebody there doing archery with them, very basic stuff, and you'd have a go. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. But watching your video actually made me go, now I understand. So thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I quite enjoyed that, and it answered some questions I've always had. Because again, you'd be asking some adult instructor for the Army Cadets, so how do I actually aim this? Well, yeah, you just point it, mate, point it down there, and it will hit something over there, without actually being able to explain to me the ins and outs. And I do agree with you, the Archer's paradox. Yeah, don't, don't even. It's like talking about Coriolis effect with a rifle. I just, uh, how far are you shooting? That's the first question. How far you're shooting and what you're shooting. The Coriolis effect is not going to affect your 7.62 deer rifle, and it's definitely not going to affect your .22 caliber 12-foot-pound air rifle. So forget that one. But yeah, there are those phrases that people like to throw out there. And oh, you do long distance shooting? Yeah, I shoot 600 meters to 1,000 meters, do a bit of target shooting at those ranges. Oh, there's a Coriolis effect. No, not 1,000 meters. It's all wobbly arrows. Yeah, so it's funny, and again in sharing, as the community is building. This community is building, and it's building wonderfully. There's so many people coming. We've got new guys, new starters. We've got guys with different skill sets, experiences coming in from different directions. We've got guys like the legend, Mr. Lee Roberts, who walked into a woods and mystically bow drilled. Yeah, yeah, absolutely fantastic. TJ, well done, mate. Just be you. Yeah, that's the secret. Just be you. If anybody that goes onto YouTube and fakes, i.e., tries to be something they're not, is going to slip up. If you're going to produce a video every week, you can't keep a front up. Okay, it will slip, and people will see it slip, and they will notice it, and then they lose their trust and faith in you. If you, like me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a bimbling old fart. I'm getting long in the tooth. I've got a wonky face. I suffer with a traumatic brain injury. Things go wrong occasionally. Leave it in. I am who I am. If people accept it and like it, then fine. That's it. If they don't like it, then fine. Equally, it's so just be yourself. I think the big thing that comes across in videos when I watch other people's videos like Dan's is enthusiasm, enjoyment. If you enjoy it and you enthuse about it and you let people see your enjoyment and your enthusiasm in it, they will get the same thing back. And the people that you will draw to you are those that are into that. It's one of the things with clickbait. If you clickbait a video, people are expecting to see what you got on the clickbait, and then you haven't got it, and they're deceived. People don't like to be deceived. If you just do videos where you go, hi, I'm Mick, I'm going up the woods, I'm going to show you how I make a fire, I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to gaze at that lovely sunrise or sunset, this is what I enjoy, they'll watch it for the pleasure of watching it, okay? But those people will come back. They'll come back because they're like, what's he going to show us next? What's he going to share with us next? And I think that's the important bit of it. Yeah, exactly that, Elusive. 50 of your subs were for the wild ponies. People out there love horses. See the shots of the wild ponies. It's a magnificent thing. I've had to yomp all over bloody Dartmoor and various places like that over the years, and the horses have always brought a smile to my face. Dewey, how you doing, mate? Yeah, it's just be yourself, isn't it? Be yourself and be what you are. And people will they'll either join in and enthuse alongside it, or they will back off. Anyhow, that's more of a subject for Sunday. Sunday, what I'm going to do Sunday, the basis, the start, because for any of you that are new, so what I do in my lives, I start with subject. So if you see the heading, that's my starting subject, and then I just allow this here to take us off in angles, and drift us away, and I follow you guys' leads really with it. So Sunday night, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and give a not advice because that's really the wrong thing. It's talk about. I'm 2 years into my channel. Okay, I am October, 2 years dead on. It's things that I wish I'd known, wish I'd had, things I wish I'd thought about before I started. Just some little tips and ideas, methods, panics, worries that I've had over the years or over the last 2 years. And I've had a couple. It's nothing. For any of you that have had it, it's nothing scary when you get a notification from YouTube going, "You've been a naughty boy, 2 more will shut you down." Okay, that happens quite easily. So again, I've got a couple of little tips and ideas there. Hopefully, will put people's minds at rest because again, YouTube, it's like anything in this world, isn't it? It's got its rules and its regulations. It expects you to follow them, especially once you get up to the monetized level. But there are ways of protecting yourself there. Um, yeah, and we're all here for one another. Exactly that. And for anybody else that is looking at joining. Now, one of the things I know for a fact is I get people on the lives that don't comment, or whether they can't or whatever, but they like to sit and watch it from the background, mainly because of my rugged, manly good looks. And so those guys out there, hiya. I hope you've had an awesome week. I hope you're having a great time. Yeah. Don't worry about sitting back in the shadows. You got my backs. That's all I worry about. Outdoor Ali. Ali, how you doing, mate? Sorry to jump in on a Friday. That's normally your night. I didn't even think about that. Ali, I do apologise, my friend. Um, yeah. Ali, I hope all's good up there. Hope the weather's holding better for you up there in Scotland than it is down here. We've had a funny old day. Some real monster thunderstorms have drifted through. Right. Anyhow, whilst you're all chatting there, I'm going to dive back through there, make sure I haven't missed anything. TJ Slicks, yeah, they're all support out there tonight, yeah. You do have to excuse me, as some of you are aware, my reading glasses aren't the same as my seeing glasses, so I have to go fairly steady. And that's all right. Cujo, hiya, mate. Da 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 da. Hey, no worries, mate. Well, I'm only coming on for an hour tonight, and the reason being, in all honesty, brutal honesty to you guys, felt a bit guilty. I said to Sticks earlier on today, said, I haven't done a video this week. Feel a bit bad about that. And he went, do a live, do a quick live, Friday night live, let people know you're okay. Do it as Q&A. So pretty much here we are. So again, if there's any questions any of you'd like to ask, anything you want to know about me, Kaz, Willow, my kit, my gear, ask away. The old rule, as I've always said, as long as it's not political, it's not religious, and it's not sexual, I'm quite happy to have it on my channel. Hiya, Rooksfoot. How you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Lee, my walking training at the moment is off. Okie doke. Give you guys a bit of an update. Last week injured me right leg. Thought it was mine. I thought I'd torn the calf and all the rest of it. Not a problem. Rested it for a few days whilst I was over on my mission on the Isle of Wight. Got into a little bit of walking, started to feel better. Fine through the weekend. Got some distance down Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Just went for a little walk up the town. Crack. Right leg again, same calf. Blew up like a balloon this time though. It actually got measured. It was 4 centimeters larger than my left calf. Went to the doctors just to make sure it wasn't anything serious. They went, oh, DVT. Shot me off to the hospital straight away. I was at the hospital all day long. All the tests done. A very angry consultant at the end of it who pretty much went, why are you here being tested for a DVT? You've not been on a flight, no massive journeys in a car. Yes, you're of an age, you don't smoke that much, and you're reasonably physically fit. You are not in the categories. They did a, what do you call it? Not a UV scan, the one like the pregnancy one with the gel, and they get the little thing and they whoosh it all over the muscle. And it turns out that I've got about a 4 centimeter tear vertically in the anterior soleus, calf muscle basically, and it runs down the calf muscle instead of across. So that should heal fairly quickly. However, I've got to stay off of it. Hence, I didn't go out and do a video, kept driving to a minimum, been hobbling around the shops, got a little walking stick, taking it very, very steady. It's a pain in the arse because, as they pointed out to me, I'm going to have to go back to zero on training. So I'm going to have to start with a K, do a K, do 2K, do 3K, do 4K, and build that muscle back up. But be very careful, as I said, because I've now torn it and the muscle works like that, what I'm liable to do is tear it again. The more I tear it, the more it will scar. The more it scars, the less likely it is to repair. Bloody nightmare. I was up to 12Ks, just progressing to 15Ks, and this knocked me back, which is a real pain in the arse because I was starting to lose the weight as well. Yes, Dan, I am a motorbike fanatic. I'm an ex-member of a motorcycle club, an MC. You can see there's a picture up there on the wall. I'm afraid for my sins, I'm a 70s guy, ape hangers and chops. Quite well known for building my own V-twins and that over the years. And a blacksmith. That was my two major passions in my life. Country boy through and through. Grew up on a dairy farm or around dairy farming community, West Country based. Although I've worked other parts of the UK as well. And that's, I spent a lot of years looking for brotherhood and camaraderie. And struggled to find it in some places. Other places found it, but politics always got in the way because I am not a political man. So building bikes, I love them. 82 250 Super. I have admired your 250N Sweet Dream because you've got one in exactly the same colour I had when I was 17. Right, I actually looked at your bike and went to Kaz and went, "Oh, it takes me back." And there's a whole story behind this that created my motorcycling career. Okay, so when I was 17, a whippersnapper, a long time ago, you could ride a 250 on. Let me move my seat, move my fast. You could ride a 250 on L plates. That's how old I am. So, being a young lad, 17, in full-time employment, marched off to Honda at Guildford. I can't remember the name of the place now. And I walked in and I went, "I want one of them." And they went, "Is your dad with you?" My dad went, "Yeah, I'm here." He co-signed for me. I signed up. Brand spanking new, metallic red Honda 250N Super Dream. Mine. Sweet, mate. On with my L plates and away I went. I was a free spirit. Okay. I literally went from my FS1E, my little fizzy, to that. Happy days. I signed up to a 3-year payment plan on it. And at about 9 months in, the government suddenly went, "We're considering bringing in a 125 law." And I went, "Yeah, but it's not going to affect me because grandfather's rights and all the rest of it." And like a lot of people thought that would be the case. And about a year later, they just literally went, "Right, that's it. As of this date, if you're a learner, 12 brake horsepower, 125cc, that's it." So I went straight back to Honda because at the time they'd just released the Honda CM125 Custom. Being a custom, now I'd seen Easy Rider, I wanted a chop. So I went straight back to Honda and went, "This 125 law's coming in. What will you give me on my bike?" And they went, "We won't." They basically went, "We don't want it. We can't sell them. Everybody's trying to bring them back. We don't want them. It's your 250. You keep paying the plan. You signed up to it. Hard luck." And I went away from that very, very bitter and just went, "Do you know what? I ain't taking my test. Screw the government. I'm not taking my test." I won't say to you that I rode motorcycles from the age of 17 right through to the age of 49. I'd had Harley Davidsons, I've had Goldwings, I've had GSXs, I've had all sorts of bikes, majority of which, I've got to admit, V-twin custom styling, that was my thing. I've had a few British bikes, always insured, always taxed, always MOT. Yeah, I know their bikes are always legal and in good order. But I rode and I said sod 'em. And at 49, I'd had a couple of years off of a bike, and I turned around to Kaz and went, I'm going to get another bike. And it was a bit of a meeting with Kaz, me, and my sons, which was, Dad, take the bike test, because you will not get away with it these days. And if you get caught, they'll throw the fucking book at you. And I went, And I went out and I bought a Honda 125 Veradero Scrambler, brilliant bike. I'd love another one, actually. That would be my survival bike. Had that, booked in for my test, took my test. Lucky enough, at the time, it was 2-part test for me because of my age and that. Obviously, with the experience I'd had, breezed it, absolutely walked it. And that was it, been legal ever since. Would never encourage anybody to ride a motorcycle illegally. In actual fact, I'd say to you, don't. However, restrictions are getting hard. Diversions, good bikes, good, lovely, reliable bike. Old Kawasaki KH125. Oh, now you're talking. Good machine. Like the KH. Yeah. So that's a bit of my history with bikes. And then obviously, being into clubs and things like that, which I've been around the club scene since I was a nipper. And I've always had fun with it. Always got welcomed in, always loved the club scene. However, as I've got older, it's dedication, time. So I sort of drifted away from it. In good order, full respect. Still know a lot of club members from a lot of different clubs and still have a lot of respect from them and a lot of respect for them. But there we go. Yeah. Ketten Killer has got his 79 Z1000. You swine, when's it going to be mine? Yeah. So that was my biking career, really. I've got that picture up there. That was leading actually a ride into London. I think I've told most of you this before. That picture was actually taken by somebody within the motorcycle media. So Long Good Friday, which was Rolling Thunder 3. There's the date. Yeah. And that was me and my oppo Jason. As Jason, me, leading our group in to the Houses of Parliament or Parliament Square and that. Bringing London to a standstill. Did it make it on the media? Did it help? Not a single report. But here we go. It's funny, isn't it? I remember a copper standing there. We were, thousands of bikers, military veterans and that, all stood together, quite respectful. Created a little bit of pandemonium, but being decent people. And a copper come up to me and he said, you know what? I love it when you guys protest. We know there's going to be no aggravation. You're not arseholes. You come along, you're respectful. You make your point and all the rest of it, and you go. You said, the real shame is you won't even get noticed. And I was like, and that's the truth. And that's the trouble with that. Ray, how you doing, Ray? Hope you're all good. Oh, Ray. Excellent. I'm sorry we didn't catch up with you Sunday, Ray. I was gutted about it. It was that I was actually looking forward to meeting up with you more than actually going for the cream tea. But I've got to say that cream tea, mate, that filled me, that done me. I had to come home and have a bit of a kip before we went live. It was them ladies make some pretty fine cakes. And there will be a video out this week. Me and Kaz have been going through the footage. So we've got a nice bit of footage of Kaz. So there's going to be a video on my channel, but with Kaz doing an introduction and that. Stephen, how you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. KH still on the road. Yeah, lovely things. I mean, the last bike, I had an Enfield, which was a lovely bike. Couldn't quite get on with it. Found it was just a bit. How can I put this without wishing to sound disrespectful? It was a bit upright for me. I mean, cruisers and chops. I'm used to sort of pretty much being squatted down, laid back. You know, if my feet are on the floor, my legs are bent. It's that sort of thing. I love a low bike. Obviously, with my survival bike, I wish I'd hung on to that Enfield because that would have made a great survival bike. Little 500 single, light enough to lift over stuff, enough torque to take it almost anywhere. Yeah, so I'm shopping. I'm looking. Something will come up. I'll chat to the guys in the community and see what's out there, see what comes up. Yeah, and Kitten's given me a bit of a. I never thought scooter, but actually, you know, survival bike. If you were building a bug out survival bike, just as a project, just as a. So you start off by going full Mad Max, don't you? You're like, yeah, GSXR 750, motocross frame, big tyres, big paddles, long travel forks. Ooh, I break your back brake, I break your front brake. Ooh, huge tank, massive tank, 10 air, something like that. Massive tank, loads of fuel. Ooh, wire, got to put wire over the headlight. Panniers, ammo boxes, 50 cal ammo boxes. Yeah, no, 20mm ammo boxes. You start going to. The thing you start thinking about is actually practically from a survival point of view in a post-apocalyptic situation, you actually want probably the leanest running engine you could possibly find. You want something like an old Honda C50 step through or C90 step through that will trundle along forever, super reliable, sips fuel like a fairy sips buttercups in the morning. You know, that's the real practicality of it. But then, does it fit the image? Can you mount an MG34 to it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That looks up. So I used to get it at the bike shows. You know, you turn up at the bike shows, and there would be the rat bikes, the post-apocalyptic rat bikes, and some of them were absolutely amazing. But then, practicality-wise, if it was in that situation, yeah. And I used to look at some of them, you know, they've been welded spikes all over the place. And I used to think, Christ, you ought to drop that, you know. Grey man option. Yeah, grey man. Grey man always survives, doesn't he? He always blends in, disappears into the distance. But grey man really comes into when you're talking about post-apocalyptic survival situations. There's two mindsets. There's one, be invisible, or two, be that big and scary that everybody leaves you alone. Okay, so you've got those two options. The reality of it is, the invisible man is the one you want to be, and being a grey man is still noticeable. So really, in that situation, it's been the bike, been the whole lot. If you're going to do anything, go on foot. You know, just move completely off the path. All right. Yeah. Yeah. What point? What bit of motorbike did he not understand? Yeah, motorbike is a good option. Personally, I'm a horseman. Okay, so I grew up with horses. My aunt had a stables. I haven't ridden, in all honesty, since I was probably last time I rode. I think I was about 20. Um, yeah, I'm 59 now. I'm not fool enough to think I could just jump on a horse and ride again. I'm confident that if I had to, I could, but I know what it would do to me. I know it would be punishment. My body would have to learn to adjust to it again. However, I've always had the view that if I had to move distance in those sort of situations, especially cross country, being a horseman, that's probably the way I would go. Because if the worst comes to the worst, I can eat the bugger. Um, yeah. So Push bikes. It's another answer to you. Silent. Silent takes minimum of energy, maximum effect. You maintain a good speed. Push bikes, but then you've got to think about fitness, cardio, all the rest of it. Derek. Oh yeah, we got the thunderstorm. Only a few miles from here, mate. Damaged buildings, the whole lot. There's about 6 roads closed down. Yes, I did own a Pooch Maxi at one point. I think most of us did. I also had a Mobilette, little French pedal along jobby, FS1E, Suzuki A100, Suzuki GT 250 Ram Air, GT 380 Ram Air, a Honda 404, Honda 550 Shadow, a Honda 750 Shadow, I've had a Honda 1200 Shadow, numerous big Yamaha V twins, from 650 through to 1500cc, Harleys. Yeah, the list is pretty much endless. A couple of British bikes, a couple of weird ones, Malaguti. Yeah, that was a strange little 2-stroke. So yeah, all sorts of funny little bits. Honda CBs. Oh crikey, who didn't have a Honda CB in the 80s? CB 250s, Kawasaki's. Even had a Z250 single. That was a bit of a rarity. Z400 twins. Brand new bikes. Honda 250N Super Dream. Suzuki Katana 1100. There's numerous machines. Lovely bikes. Yeah. Oh, the old CD 175s and 200s, the old Bentleys. That's another bike that just went on forever. Didn't matter what you did to it, that little Honda twin would just keep chugging along and run forever. Yeah, not a problem. Chronically, not a problem. I'm 42 minutes in. I was only going to run this for an hour tonight to give you guys something to let you know, catch up. Kitten Killer, of course, he's got his maggot, his CX 500. Kitten, did they do a 750 turbo version of that? I'm pretty sure they did. Somewhere in the back of my head is going CX 750 turbo. I don't know if anybody can correct me. I might be wrong. Or the Hillman Super Minks. Yeah. 6. That was it. Yeah. Rooksfoot, you're right. Yeah. Stuff you can salvage from the push bike. Yeah. Even down to the spokes on the wheels have got uses. Yeah. And again, when you travel into the third world, okay, and you see how people use equipment. Yeah, as you said there, you take an alternator, mount it to a push bike, run a pulley. You suddenly got power. You got 12 volts. It's not a huge amount, but given a bit of effort, you can run batteries. I've seen alternators run off of pretty much a water. What's called water now? Oh, here we go. The TBI's coming in now. See it in my head. Got paddle spins. Water hits it. You know what I'm talking about? Like a windmill in the water. Okay. Mill. That's it. Water mill. Oh, it's creeping up me, Janet. Oh yeah. It's there's many options. Your imagination, and then again, we get limited today by what we know by technology and what technology tells us works efficiently. But you can cobble things together that might not be super efficient, but will work. How much voltage do you need to run a single LED? Now, if you put yourself in a dark room at night in a survival situation, that single LED is enough light to see what you need to do. Right? How much voltage does it take to run that? Okay, we're talking half a volt, quarter of a volt. We're talking really, really low ampage. So how much power? What does it take to recharge enough or to give you enough power for that? And so on. So again, it's all about, it's all about sometimes just thinking outside the box. Water wheel, that's it. Cheers, Rooksfoot. Dynamos. Yeah, I've seen it done. I've even to the point where so I can't say too much. Let's try and put this in a way that's not going to get me into trouble. So, a vehicle in a place somewhere in the world. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. And what happened was we ended up rigging the indicator and tail light bulbs up and ripping cable out of this vehicle to wire them together to run those off of that vehicle's battery to illuminate a building and give enough power to recharge some equipment. Okay, which worked. The vehicle could fire up. It was a very old diesel, no turbo, anything like that. And this thing used to just sit outside on blocks ticking over. But the dynamo, and in fact, it was a dynamo on that, not an alternator. It was a dynamo. That dynamo charged the battery through a regulator. So we were able to keep that battery charged and power ourselves. We were pretty much running it on whatever we can find. Old engine oil, cooking oil, whatever we could find. It would just... One of the things we did as an evolution to it was we ended up directing water from just a little stream into the engine block. And we would run that through the engine block because the radiator was knackered. So we were running that through the engine block. Then we ended up building a recycler. So the recycler worked off a 50-gallon drum. So basically the water came in, cycled through the engine into the 50-gallon drum, right? Warm water rises, cold water sinks. So the warm water's rising and recirculating through the engine. And it's doing this 2 or 3 times till it gets to the point where it's hot enough to reach a drain point on the barrel. And then that's filtered off. We ended up with a permanent hot water supply and electricity supply all the time we could keep that thing running. And it was literally running on probably no more than a gallon of whatever we could mix. And it was finding engine oil from sumps and things like that, mixing it with cooking oil, mixing it with diesel, mixing it with whatever we could find, even down to thinners and petrol, just to loosen it up a bit, filter it and run it on that. And it worked superbly. Again, wasn't giving massive ampage, wasn't giving boiling water, but gave hot enough water to wash it, and it gave enough light to see what we were doing in the building we were in. That's all I'm telling you about that story. But then again, and that wasn't my doing, that was actually somebody else, a very clever sapper who understood this a lot better than I do. Right, so the water that was coming into the lorry was coming into the cooling system, Janet. So it was basically coming in, instead of having a radiator, the water piped into the engine, circulated round the engine and out. To give you an idea of that lorry, it was an 8-cylinder, okay, of I can't even say where it was from because I don't. Yes, it was a big, old 1970s style diesel, massive, and it just kept going and going and going. Yeah, MacGyver. And again, the guy that actually came up with the idea, it started as an evolution. It literally went, that's got batteries on it. I can run bulbs. If we use the smallest bulbs that's low ampage, we've got spare power in the battery, which we can then draw for other things. Then somebody said, but the radiator's leaking. And then the first few days, it was like constantly topping up the radiator. And then somebody went, hang on, there's a stream there. There's guttering on these buildings. If we get the guttering and we connect the guttering together, can't we just run that straight into the radiator? And the whole thing just evolved from that because it got to the point where somebody went, the water that's leaking is warm. Why don't we just collect that? Oh, yeah, that's clever. And then somebody else is like, yeah, okay, 50-gallon drum. It fills a 50-gallon drum up. Well, it's not that hot now, is it? Because it's in the 50-gallon drum. Oh, yeah, but there's a heater matrix there. So if we take it back in through the heater matrix, it will recirculate and it will heat that even more. Oh, yeah, but now it's overheating. Well, hang on. If we put a pipe in here at this level, that hot water comes up to that level and seeps off. Hey, and that was it. It was just an evolution of a single idea. Oh yeah, yeah, in Power Head Torch. It wasn't. Can't say too much. All I'll say to you there, Stealth, is it wasn't NATO equipment. Okay. Um, yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going any further than that. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it'd probably been more reliable if it'd been a 4-tonner, but you'd probably been able to get up to 45 mile an hour downhill. Yeah. Cheers, Janet. Yeah. Yeah. Got to be careful. 2 L4-tonners. engine in the old 4-tonners was made by Rolls Royce. Yeah, it was engine out the old Rolls Royce can hardly rolls down one hill, can hardly get up the other. I'm not saying anything. Good joke. Right, take care, mate. Look after yourself. Be good. Have a good evening. Yeah. Rokons. 2-wheel drive motorcycles. Chain at the front, chain on the back. Yeah. Rotary engine. Funny old things. Yeah, and again, so again, within our bushcraft community world, our prepper world, survival world, whatever, a lot of the time, a lot of the things do it's one, nothing we do today hasn't been done before. A lot of the techniques and methods that we use today are things taken from our ancestors and used today. And the skills of our ancestors are the skills worth learning to carry us forward. Okay. People often say to me, I teach carry cigarette lighter, ferrocerium rod. They're modern techniques, they work well. But then you go away and you learn something and you choose your ancient skill. So for me, it was flint and steel. Okay. I like flint and steel. It's a nice, simple, small, compact system, pretty much pre-Romantic Britain all the way through until the invention of the cigarette lighter in 1850. Yeah. That was the main thing. Okay, for the ordinary man who carries tinderbox, carries flint, carries steel. Love it. I've done bow drill many times, and I've always hated it for the amount of effort that goes into it. It was always a case of it doesn't always work. Till I met Mr. Lee Roberts, who actually, showed me some tips. And again, it's one of these things when somebody takes you to one side and says, try this way, it changes it. Now, it doesn't mean that the bow drill is my new go-to method. It's still, for me, if I'm looking at primitive skills, it's still a spark into a piece of charcloth. Okay, whether I need to adapt a battery or something like that to create that spark, or go to a flint and steel, that's my preferred method. Okay, yes, it means making charcloth, but nearly every primitive survival skill requires you to make something, produce something, or adapt something to be used. So even if you're looking at a bow drill, you're going to have to make the bow, you're going to have to make the drill, you're going to have to make the hearth board, and then go to the effort. So again, it's that coming back to being prepared, having those skills and abilities. And thanks to Mr. Lee Roberts, yes, we had a long discussion about it. And I agree with what he said. If you found yourself on a desert island with absolutely nothing, right, and no flint, no gypsum, no chert or anything like that, you're going to have to go to a method like friction. Now, whether or not you practice or study friction methods, it's the same thing for everybody. You're going to have to start from scratch. Having the knowledge of how to make a bow drill, how to make a friction fire, is so worth having. Am I pleased? I mean, I've got my kit up there that he gave me, and I have practiced with it. It's worth having that knowledge. It's another tool. It's in that box. I'm always saying, you know, fill that toolbox up there before you fill the pockets and the jacket up, because that's the one that's going to really save your life if you ever need it. Yeah, hand drills. See, yeah, hand drills, absolutely brilliant. It's not my favourite. Plough is another one you can use. I've tried to plough, not to much success. Found it a lot of hard work. Yeah, let's come back to this. Make sure it comes. Yeah, prior to motorboats, man used canoe. Exactly. Cheers, Kuja. Yeah, it's Janet, and it's one of those things. I struggled with it. I struggled with it because where I'd learned it from and the people that showed me hadn't really showed me that well. Mr. Roberts sat down, spent the time to give us a bit of tuition. It all made sense, and little tips and tricks make all the difference. I teach when I've instructed in the past. I've always gone to flint and steel. Because in the UK it's something that's readily available. You're pretty much in the UK. You're laughing. I have to admit, if you're in the States, you're going to be going to chert and things like that because there is no flint in the US. It's one of those weird geological things. So they tend to use chert and other stones that have that same ability, hard stones. In actual fact, I was watching Mr. Roberts was demonstrating iron pyrite, and blimey, that's a hard method. But again, once you've got the knowledge of really what I'm doing, if I can make a spark, I can catch it on a piece of char. Doesn't matter how I make the spark. If I can make a spark, I can get an ember. If I can get an ember, I can get fire. And that's the thought process for me. Yeah, bamboo, wonderful. Don't have a lot here. Drake, hiya, mate. How's Ontario, Canada? How's Canada this glorious evening? Well, evening here. Hopefully your weather's reasonable still. Thank you for joining us. Quartz, yeah, quartz is another hard stone. And again, it's just you got to find what works for you. You find, and this is the thing. I can sit here and sprout 100 techniques. It's go out, play with it, find what works for you. One, for the environment you're in. Two, for your physicality. Not everybody's dexterous. Not everybody's got that ability. Not everybody's got the staying power for a bow drill or for a hand drill. Okay, but find something that works for you. Practice it, perfect it, get yourself confident with it. Once you've got that one in the box, get adventurous. Try another one. And don't be frightened of thinking outside the box as well. Just because people say do it this way, you know, come up with other ideas. I've seen bow drills made pretty much like a foot drill using a bowed over branch. I think I've seen Derek do it, and I think I've seen other people do it. You know, as a way of being able to use the spring on that branch to actually operate the bow. Yeah. Find what works for you. Find what works for you. So, guys, I'm not going to be rude. I've got a lovely Kaz to go and pick up and make sure she's happy. Cheers, Dan. I've got to make sure she's happy. I will see you all on Sunday night for our normal Sunday night social. 2 hours of joy. Yeah, guys, take it easy. Have a lovely evening. Have a cracking weekend. For those of you who are getting out and having your adventures, stay safe. Hope the weather holds for you. Keep that weather eye open. It's looking a bit naughty in the UK this weekend. For those of you that are staying home and shelter, get onto YouTube. There's some guys up there on the board. Go and have a look at their channels. Show them some love. Yeah, give them a sub. Give them a like. Say hello. Yeah. More than anything, have a great time. Enjoy yourselves. Relax. Chill. To my brother, Owen, mate, big hugs. Hope you're smiling. Hopefully the car's all good. To my mate, D, out in the States. D, yeah, stay safe, brother. All my love to your mum and dad. Yeah, it was lovely to meet them last week. To Bosun Dan, my new friend. Take it easy, brother. Be good. Kitten Killer up there, charging around on your CX500. Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah, wind in the hair, bugs. Well, used to be wind in the hair, bugs in the teeth, and all that. To Janet, the lovely Janet. Stay safe, sweetheart. Have a great adventure this week. Where are we? Sticks, of course. Sticks. Be good, brother. I'll chat to you in the morning. Daz, take it easy, mate. Yeah, I am looking into your camp. I've got so many projects and irons in the fire at the moment. I've got to have a look and see what I can come up with. I'm trying to sort lots out at the moment, mate, but we will see. We go. Cujo, mate, great to catch up with you. It's that spark fire, that spark. Yeah, 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 yeah. The knowledge isn't catching that spark. If you can catch that spark, you can make an ember. If you can make an ember, you can make a fire. Yeah, practice, practice, practice. Stephen Garrett, take it easy, mate. Have a great weekend. Janet Outdoors, I think I've said it already. Yeah, camera's not waterproof. I sweetheart, bag it, look after your camera. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Lee Roberts, Lee, the worshipful Lee. I'm just not too much for you, mate. But yeah, thank you, mate. Have a great weekend. Take it easy. Have fun. Look after yourself. Daz Outdoors, Drake. Yeah. Sorry, we're not stopping on much longer. Sunday night, we've got one that we start in about 2000 hours UK time, mate. Come in and join us on that. Yeah, come and join us on that. Let us know a little bit about yourself. If you've got a channel, let us know and we'll get you up on the board. Okay. Other than that, yeah, guys, what more can I say? That's been 1 hour and 1 minute of pure pleasure in the company of my friends. Thank you so very much. But now I'm going to creep off downstairs. I'm going to put a movie on. I'm going to make a cup of tea, sort out something nice for me and Kaz, and have a romantic evening. Watch a movie together. Because, yeah, what more could you want, eh? Curled up on the sofa with my lovely wife and my dog. Yeah, perfect. Guys, see you Sunday. Love those you do. Forgive those you don't. And as always, may peace and light be upon you all. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, and Kaz and Willow, wishing you an awesome weekend, guys. Catch you Sunday. Mickey out.